and leadership on both the majority and minority sides of parliament have condemned the Wutu Senior MP Hawa Koomson for firing warning shots at a polling station Monday. But they are divided over calls for her to be summoned before the Privileges Committee of Parliament, with the majority insisting it will be a waste of time. Minority Chief Whip in Parliament, Muntaka Mubarak, says the action of the MP brings the name of the House into disrepute.
If the president really believes in non-violence, this is the time for him to act. My colleague herself, she should reflect on what has happened. She should be sincere to herself. If she's convinced, like I am, that there was nothing could have called for her firing a warning shot in a polling station where there are police officers, maybe to do the needful. Parliament, I doubt whether, Privileges Committee will act. We've seen so many things in this house that Privilege Committee fails to act. Because of this, I don't know why we do that to ourselves. And then, so because of that, in the new standing orders, I'm calling for Ethics Committee. And graciously, I have said that it's been proposed that we'll have an ethics committee, because ethics will take it more broadly than just the privilege. Because sometimes people will now want to say, show me what privilege a person has. Because when you bring the name of the institution into disrepute, people will say that this is it's been overstretched and what have you. But if we have ethics, I have no doubt in my mind that if we were to have ethics committee, this will qualify 100% for ethics. But privileges, we've seen how, unfortunately, they've acted in the past. I doubt whether going to privileges will do anything.
Kumbungu MP Ras Mubarak once dragged before the Privileges Committee of Parliament over the issue, the Minister for Special Development Initiatives.
What had happened yesterday is most reprehensible. It's put Parliament at the back, it's put Parliament to great ridicule, looking at the reaction that has come from the public. But rightly so, because we have seen in Hawa Koomson a minister who is thuggish. We have seen in her a minister who has zero respect for her constituents. And for me, Parliament as an institution would clearly, in view of what has happened, invite her to the Privileges Committee. What she has done embarrasses Parliament, and that is contemptuous of Parliament. And our laws are clear on issues of contempt of Parliament.
First Deputy Majority Whip in Parliament, Matthew Nyendam, says a summoning before the Privileges Committee will be a waste of time, but he agrees the act is condemnable.
Well, I think I disagree with Ras Mubarak, because the fact that she's just a member of Parliament doesn't mean that any action that one takes, necessarily the person must be called to the Privileges Committee. Yes, it has to do with her. And I heard that there's been some kind of firing from her end, which, from some information I got, she admitted that. But I think it has to do with the police, and the police must do their own investigation and get to the bottom of it. But for somebody to say she should be hauled to the Privileges Committee, I think I disagree with the person. From the face value, if you just heard or if you just hear that a member of Parliament has shot into the air or fired into the air, obviously you should condemn that action, because why will that happen? But there must be a reason, which I don't know.
Occupy Ghana has since condemned the shooting incident at the Wutu Senior East constituency and calls for urgent and quick police investigation. The group has issued a statement to that effect. It reads, Occupy Ghana has had occasion, especially in the wake of the Yawaso West Wogom by-election, to condemn the use of violence in electoral politics, whether by government agents or private persons. The use of force or violence is a crime under our laws, unless there is reasonable justifications and within the strict bounds provided by law. It continues to say, we condemn all election-related violence. We also condemn the inexplicable circumstances under which the minister took a loaded weapon to the registration center in the first place, when the minister had police guard paid for by the state and whose job is to protect her. We further the law that regulates the registration of voters also provide a process for challenging ineligible person who register to attempt to do so. In a country governed by the rule of law, you do not prevent an alleged breach of law by breaching the law yourself. What the minister did endangered the lives of not only the political actors but innocent people whose only interest in being at the registration center was ostensibly to exercise their constitutional right to be registered and to vote in the upcoming elections. We cannot have registration exercise and then an election where people would feel so threatened that they would either stay at home and not vote at all. We call on the police to quickly investigate the circumstances under which this incident occurred. If it's found that the minister breached the law, she should be prosecuted to the fullest extent possible under the law in the service of God and country. And that's the statement by Occupy Ghana.